G'day guys, this episode is brought to you by Kratzman's RV Super Centre out of Burpengary.
Burpengary, mate.
Mate, motorhomes and caravans, they're the only destination you need to go to. You don't need them. For 40 years,
One-stop
they've been
shop.
selling. That's it. And you say to me, you want to tow a caravan somewhere? I just say go to Kratzman. That's it. Now listen, don't miss, we're getting to the end of the year, financial year, so you've got roughly 21 days till this end of financial year sale is over. So pull your finger out. Go out to Burpengary. Give them a call. Kratzman's Caravan. Tell them you love Kevie, you hate Dobbo, but you love inside balls.
Inside balls to go.
Inside balls to go. And look, they will look after you. They've got the biggest ever sale taking place at the moment, up to $20,000 of some new and used caravans and motorhomes. Not all of them, but there is up to 20 grand off them. Go out there, give them a call. Burpengary's a destination. Kratzman's RV Super Centre out there at Burpengary. The best caravans, the best motorhomes. Mate, why would you shop anywhere else?
Here we go. We got a really special guest for you this week. One of my favourite players, I've got to say. I've coached this fella. I love watching him play. He's still playing. Should be playing in the NRL, but anyway, we'll get to that later. Anthony Milford. Welcome, Milf.
Yeah, thanks, Kevie. Thanks for having me on.
Pleasure to have you on, mate. What a career you've had. So you're still playing, so your career's not done yet, but your career is it's been amazing, hasn't it?
Yeah, I'm pretty grateful for the career I've had. I was lucky enough to play when I was fairly young and still going now, so
Yeah.
yeah.
So over 200 NRL games, 151 for the Broncos. Did you get the horses statue?
Yep. I
You got one of those?
Yep.
That's good, mate. How many games for Samoa? Do you know? Is it 14 or 23?
No, I'd say it's 14.
Right, so you were about 17 or 18 when you first played for Samoa, weren't you?
Yep. The first tour, my first game was the World Cup 13, top of my head.
So you were, how old were you then? 18 or something?
18, yep.
Do you have must have been a proud moment for you?
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. I remember that, like the whole week leading up, I thought it was like, because I was young, I just didn't know what to expect, so I just went in trying to enjoy myself.
Yep.
And then it wasn't until we got like a lot of supporters come through and wish us luck, how much it meant to us, and then
And your people as well,
and
eh?
our people,
Samoan.
Yep.
Yeah, great, mate. 2 games for Queensland, 1 game for Australia. Was that a
PM 13 game.
right? Okay, and then this is some of your things that you've won. The 2013 Mal Meninga medal for the Raiders Player of the Year when you were 19, first year of first grade.
Yep.
You won the Player of the Year.
Yeah.
You must have also won the Rookie of the Year then too, did you?
No, the Rookie of the Year went to Paul Vaughan.
Okay.
Yep.
Right, you were probably too young to be a rookie then. So you've won the Broncos Player of the Year award, which is a big one to win in 2015, and that was a Players Player, and you won the Paul Morgan medal for the Broncos Player of the Year in 2018. Do you have a favourite year at the Raiders?
At the Raiders, yeah, probably my debut year.
Yep.
Just because I didn't know what to expect, and obviously got to live out my childhood dream of playing in the NRL. And then I probably can't go past the 215 year.
Yeah. Excellent, mate. Now, family, you got mum and dad? Yep.
Sorry.
And you got a brother and a sister?
Yep, so I got one older brother, one younger brother, and the little sister in school. So
Okay, and then also you've got your own family as well. You've got a tribe of 3 kids.
Yep.
How's that all going? You enjoy being a parent?
Good. Juggling, taking them to school and picking them up. So I'm enjoying that side of that side of life.
Well, at least they going to school. You skip school a lot as a kid,
Yeah.
didn't you? Hey? He knows it, so he's not going to say. He's not going to say. Righto. Now, you grew up in Ipswich, born in Ipswich, grew up there.
Yeah, born in Ipswich Hospital and then lived there for about 3 or 4 years, and then mum and dad made the move to Inala and pretty much grew up from there.
Grew up from there. How was your childhood? Did you describe it to us? What'd you do through? You played footy?
No, I pretty much just played touch within our youth for church. So didn't really have much time to go do extra stuff on the weekend. So it was pretty much just church, and then I played touch growing up with a lot of older boys. So in church there.
Righto. And so when was your first memory of playing rugby league? How old were you reckon?
I was under 11s. Dad finally took me to a club called the South Case Ridge.
Right.
And yeah, it was cool because like all the boys when I went to school, they were talking about it. So I just wanted to jump in and be amongst that.
And you were just a natural at it. Obviously, you just hit the ground running, playing for Queensland, all the underage teams.
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to make a couple of rep teams when I was younger, and there's still a few of the boys that are still playing now today. I played with there.
Yeah, because you're the same age as my son Billy, right? So you made all those. You were in the Met West group. Yep. So you made that, and then you made Queensland unders.
Yep.
Was Cody Nicorette? So was Cody? He was in the Queensland team with you, but he was Brisbane North, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
That's what Billy was. Yeah. So was anyone else in your Met East team that's gone through? Can you remember?
Off the top of my head, no. There's not much. All I know is a lot of the Met North boys made that.
Yeah.
Like Frankie's still playing.
Frankie's is he your cousin or something?
Yeah.
Frank?
Yep.
All right. You kept that quiet. Do you keep that quiet or what?
It's just keep playing. No.
Big Frankie, he's still going all right, isn't he?
Yeah.
And
no,
the
he's
Dolphins going good. Now you made all the underage teams, Queensland 15, Australian school. Was there ever? Because someone tried to poach you for New Zealand, didn't they? When you were a bit younger. Was that I forget who it was, but were you always going to play for Australia or Samoa? That was it. Never New Zealand.
No, yeah, I had I think it was under 20s. I had a phone call from, not too sure of what his name was, but it was a New Zealand management just seeing if I was eligible, if I was keen to play, and yeah, I grew up playing for Queensland and just knew how much I wanted to represent Queensland, and obviously if I got the chance, Australia, but yeah.
Righto. Now you didn't end up at the Broncos straight up. How'd you end up at the Raiders?
A person called Brian Edwards. He was a Canberra Raiders guy there.
Recruitment for the Raiders.
Yep, and he picked me up when I was young, and I kept doing just trips to Canberra on school holidays.
So were the Broncos, were they interested? Were they sniffing around you and
No.
trying to...
Well, not that I know of.
Right. So did you have a manager then, or who looked after all your stuff?
No, just mum and dad.
Right.
And it was just see how we went. And I formed a pretty good relationship with Brian Edwards.
Yep.
Him and mum and dad and got along real well. So, it just went from there.
Righto. So you went to the Raiders. Where'd you live down there? Did you live with a family or something? Because so you finished school, right? Then you went down the next year, did you?
Yep.
To the Raiders.
Yes. There was myself and Patrick Mago and Scotty Doyle. Us three lived in a homestay when we first got there. We were playing SG ball, so that's just how we got along.
That brings a smile to your face.
Yeah,
Some good memories there, eh?
Yep.
Yeah. Paddy's still going over in Wigan, isn't he?
Yeah, he's won a couple of comps and he's doing real well for himself over there.
Who was the other lad's name?
Scotty Doyle.
Is he still playing, or is he done? Or
no, he stopped playing. He had a couple of head knocks,
right,
which ruled him out for a bit.
What position did I'm going to call him Doyley. What position did he play?
He was a back rower.
Back rower, right?
Yeah,
Good player.
Very, very handy.
Yeah, right. Did he play NRL at all?
No. He just come down with us to SG ball and then 20s.
Right. So SG ball in 2012, you played in the grand final.
Yeah.
What happened there? Come on, mate. Got rolled, didn't you?
Yeah. It was because we played. I played in the SG ball grand final as well.
Against the Tigers.
Against the Tigers again.
Then you went and played the 20s as a 17-year-old.
Yeah. Again, we got dusted in the GF for the SG ball, and then obviously went to 20s and got done again. So.
Yeah, they belted you 46-6. What, didn't you show up or what?
Oh, bit of everything.
Bit of everything, eh?
Yeah.
Were you playing fullback or in the halves then?
No, I was in the halves then.
Right. Okay. Did you like playing fullback?
I enjoyed it. I really liked it when I was younger. It wasn't until I guess I got to the Broncos and I watched how much Darius does for the fullbacks. And
I'll go and play
doesn't
six.
fit me. Yeah.
Yeah, righto. Okay. So how was it living in Canberra? You're good mates with Josh, aren't you? Papali'i. Yep. You went down for his game?
Yep.
How was that experience? That would have been amazing, eh?
Yeah, really, really good. Obviously, the weather was
bit chilly, eh?
pretty cold, but it was a really big occasion for him and his family, and I'm so grateful that they got to have it their way, and he played really well as well.
Yeah, so he sort of took you under his wing a bit, didn't he, Big Pups?
Yeah. After a couple of years living at the homestay, I ended up moving in with their family.
Right.
So kind of had same values I did at home as well. So
Yeah.
It was cool.
Because he's a big Samoan lad too, isn't he?
Yeah.
Pups?
Yep.
Beautiful, mate. So that would have been nice for you. But you did get a bit homesick, didn't you, playing for the... You obviously had 3 years at the Raiders, didn't you?
Yep.
So 2013 you come in and made your debut?
Yes.
Do you remember your debut? What do you remember most about your debut?
I remember getting told from Dave that I was making my debut.
Dave Ferner was the coach, yeah?
Yep. Obviously ringing mum and dad, stoked as with the news, getting to fly them down. And then in the game, I just remember, I can't remember who I was. I think it was Jackie White, and I dropped under, or someone that was, and then they dropped the ball. And then Jimmy Maloney's like, "Oh, back to 20s you go." So
he's into you already,
welcome to first grade, man.
But you won that game?
Yep. We got, I think it was Tortoise 200 off the top of my head, or it was a milestone game for him, and it was a pretty cool game. We come from behind and got the win, which is pretty cool.
So 2013, you're in the NRL squad. How's that feeling walking? Because the Raiders have got a big history, haven't they? Big name players, and you're mixing it with them at such a young age. Was it intimidating for you? You actually enjoyed it, or you felt comfortable? What talk to me about that.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of young boys, which made it a lot easier than usual, and I guess I didn't want to step on anyone's toes, so I just done my thing, hung out with Joshua heaps, and when my time came, I just had to play.
Right, and I picked you in the 20s Origin team, didn't I? Was that the year you were captain of that side, weren't you? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Playing. Some of that vision came up the other day. We had some. Corey Oates was in that team, wasn't he?
Yep.
Oatesy?
Yep, there was a lot of big name players in our
Kurt
team.
Mann, who's playing Origin this week.
Yep, he was in that side.
He was in that side. I was trying to think some other, but even in the New South Wales side, Boyd Cordner and McKinnon were that.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yep.
I think Matt Lodge was in.
Lodge was in that team.
Yeah, geez,
He was calling chaos.
Hey?
He was calling chaos for us.
Yeah, exactly, mate. So you went to round 10 before you scored your first try for the Raid. Do you remember your first try?
Yep. That was the Sharks.
Yeah.
I think someone got injured early on in that game, and I happened to come on early and got an offload from Sean Fensom, and then just got past the fullback and
got past because
score.
you were known for your speed, and weren't you? Like you were fast.
Yeah. Yep.
And you used that to your advantage, which is pretty smart, I would have thought, isn't it?
Yeah. I just, when I had open spaces.
How'd you get on with the cold in Canberra? Because I played for the Raiders, obviously, and I got adjusted to it. Well, you never adjust to it, but it does get cold, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Is that one of the reasons why you started to get a bit homesick, or hey?
No. I guess you just adapt to it.
Yeah.
It wasn't fun, obviously training in the cold, but again, you have to think of it, how it's going to help you, and other teams that aren't used to it obviously have to come
when they
and
come to
play,
Canberra, yeah.
You're kind of acclimatised to it, so.
Righto. So you had that year with the Raiders. I think you won their Player of the Year. I mentioned that, didn't I?
Yep.
2013. 2014. Oh, then in 20 you played for Samoa that year as well in the World Cup.
And then won the World Cup.
What an experience that would have been, mate, eh?
Yeah, obviously having the debut year and then getting the call up to represent Samoa was pretty special. And again, I remember leading up to that game, just sitting in the hallway at a hotel room and trying to learn the national anthem. So didn't want to make sure I didn't stuff up in the.
Because you've got a proud Samoan heritage, haven't you?
Yep.
All the way back, and you still get back there regularly.
Yeah. Try and go back every year and I guess help out wherever I can.
And we'll get to the most recent World Cup later because that was let's do it now. We're doing it. We're on Samoa now.
Yep.
Talk to us about that experience because you got belted in the first game.
Yeah.
By England. Was it 50-something to nil? Or
66.
66 to
6. I think
6. Right. And this Samoan team, you got some big names in there.
Yeah.
Apart from yourself. Stephen, will you tell me who was playing in that team?
Yeah, we had all the Penrith boys.
Yeah.
Boys I know. Then.
So, To'o's Samoan?
Yep. Crichton, Tago, Joey Swaliti. Who else we have? Obviously,
Big
Romy.
Pups was in there?
Pups was in there. Junior Polo was in there.
Right.
So,
and you got beaten by England, so that would have been pretty humiliating.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. Didn't go to plan round one, but...
No. So what happened after that? Did you just throw all the toys out or just get... What'd you do? I can tell you what you did. You just bonded together.
Yeah, we did. After that first game, we did, and I guess from then on, we thought we were going home every weekend.
Right.
That's the way we planned, and that's the way we played. So, it was a pretty cool and special moment for not only the players but the nation as well.
Yeah, because you started to win some games and they started to rally behind you, didn't they?
Yeah, there was a lot.
And did the sponsor or someone who was one of the sponsors of the trip, did he come in and say to you guys, well, if you can get to the quarterfinals, I'll double your wages or something? Did that happen?
Oh, there was a couple of times where he said he would double our allowance, which is like a weekly allowance. So yeah, when we beat Tonga, he said it then, and we got a double allowance, and then we went to England, or we played England in the semis, and he said it again, and the boys won again, and obviously got top up. So that was pretty cool.
So would you say in that environment that team harmony is like really important? And it seems like you all just, because you're pretty cool fellas, you Samoans. Have you ever met The Rock?
No, I wish.
Right,
I wish.
Anyway, yeah. So you're pretty cool fellas, pretty laid back sort of guys. So maybe just that bit of relaxation was the key for you guys. Well, obviously it was, wasn't it? You enjoying each other's company, and well, you're in England, so was there many family members that travelled over, like partners and kids and families?
Yeah, we had a fair few of the boys' partners and families come through, and then we had a lot of Samoans from UK that come into camp as well that helped us out. So we had a lot of familiar faces around our camp, which helps. And
you make it through to the final against Australia. How was that experience?
Yeah, that was.
Where was the game? Was it
Manchester?
Manchester.
Yep. The game before we played at Liverpool. That was
Anfield.
Anfield, that's the one. Yep. You play at some pretty cool stadiums over there, and you just always think of like who's obviously sat in your spot there.
Yeah.
And it's pretty surreal. So.
Oh, no, that's good, mate. And we'll get back to the NRL, right? Ricky's keen to keep you at the Raiders, but the Broncos come chasing after you. How did that all happen? Back to the Broncos. Who was behind all that? Who was the instigator with all of that?
Gigi was a little bit.
Andrew G?
Yep. But at the time, my dad was sick.
Right.
And gone through a heart transplant. So
sure.
I had to, obviously.
You want to come back and help him and be around him as much as you could.
Yep. So I had
So you left on compassionate grounds because you had another year at the Raiders, didn't you?
Yeah, I had another year, and I was pretty lucky enough that Ricky let me go early.
Yep.
So
you still got a good relationship with Ricky?
Yeah. Yep. I got a real good relationship with Ricky. I caught up with him last week at Pups' game and after it. So
yeah, he's a good fella, Sticko.
He's a really good dude.
He's a good people person. Righto. Now, in 2014 as well, you played for Australia in the Prime Minister's 13. How was that experience for you? Where was the game? Was it up there or?
Yeah, we went to PNG.
Right.
That was another
crazy
game.
up there, isn't it?
Yeah. And
what
especially
about the
being
fans?
with the Australian Prime Minister's team, they just go even crazy.
Yeah, but you would have been very popular. They would have loved you up there because you were like the next young one coming through with all the skills and speed and all the charisma. Look at you sitting there now in your bird's hat. Eh?
No, it's pretty cool, and like I was just surreal to be like in the team with a few of the boys that were in that side.
Was there some Raiders?
Greg Bird was in that side.
Birdie was in that side, yeah. Because these are all these fellas that you would have sort of grown up watching play, and all of a sudden you're on tour with them. Would have been pretty exciting for you.
It was pretty good.
Do you remember who the coach was of that team was? Was it Michael Hagan or?
Yes. No? Yes, off the top of my head, I'm pretty sure it was.
Yeah, that's all right. No worries, mate. Righto, you're back to the Broncos. Do you feel comfortable at the Broncos? Did you like playing there?
Yeah, I love my time with the Broncos. Obviously, I went for them when I was younger, and then obviously to get the opportunity to put the Broncos jersey on and represent home is special.
Do you remember round one against the Rabbitohs?
Yep.
What happened? Because I was the assistant coach at the time. I was the attack coach that had come in with this young side, and the Rabbitohs, who were the premiers from the year before, flogged us.
Yep.
I'm going to put myself in there. 36-6. What a start for your Broncos career. Yeah. What were you thinking, eh?
Yeah, it was a very, very slow start. I remember because I got about 30 tickets, so I had all my family just come to watch the first Broncos game at home, and yeah, they got us. They got us. My beauty, they're the bunnies, but yeah, it was a big learning curve for all of us, and obviously you don't win the comp in round one. So
No, you don't. But 36-6, I was thinking, well, here we go. But they were a good side, weren't they? They were the premiers from the year before. Big side, the Burgess boys. GI was there. Renault would have been playing there, wouldn't he? Yeah, so pretty good side. But things turned pretty well for the Broncos that year, don't they? Go well. Why do you think you played so well that year?
Again, I reckon we all just come together really well and had a few good sessions off the field as well, so brought us a little bit closer and wanted to play for each other. And I think when it got towards the end, I remember being in the sauna when Cozza got us together. There's a few of us in there. He goes, "Do you actually think we can win the comp?" And there's a lot of boys saying, "Yeah, I reckon we can." So just kept building the belief. And
that's right, because there's a particular game that I remember. It was against South in the return match in Sydney. You and Benny Hunt were standouts in the game. Well, the whole team played well, but actually put a bit of a score on them, which I thought, well, that's a good turnaround from round one into, might have been round, do you remember that game, round 17 or 18?
Yep.
It was at the Sydney Football Stadium. So then we had what was the go with the Cowboys in those days? Why were the battles so tight, do you think?
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I reckon
because there was 4 or 5 games or over 4 or 5 years period where it was golden point, it was field goals, it was all sorts of different things.
Yeah, and they're the games that I really enjoyed. Obviously, it was like touch footy with the pace of it. It was non-stop ball and play, and then you just had the ultimate competitor with JT. Just kept every time we'd score or we'd go above, he'd find a way to get back and just kept going like that.
Yeah. And all the way to the grand finals. Great. I just remember and like every year when the Broncos are in the grand final, the whole town, whole city gets behind the team, don't they?
Yeah.
And then off to Sydney, off to play in the big dance. It's a great game.
Yeah, it was a good game.
What's your memories of the grand final?
Pretty much everything. I remember that game pretty clear in my head. Obviously had a really good start, then obviously the back end didn't go too well, but I thought we competed really well, stayed in their game really well, but again, they got us in the end.
Have you still got your jersey from the grand final?
I've got one of them, yeah.
You got one? You know who's got the other one?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah? And I'm going to give it back to you today.
Oh, dear.
So here it is, ladies and gentlemen. This is... You get two jerseys, don't you?
Yeah.
Well, they always carry spares in case they get ripped, or sometimes you change them over at half time. But I've kept this. That's 10 years this year now.
Yeah, well.
It's been hanging up in my cupboard because obviously I love the Broncos as well. But I thought this has got little markings around there of the Clive Churchill medal hanging around the neck until you, Kyle, felt. What were you thinking? You, the Cowboys. So here it is, Bill. The only thing is the back, the number is starting to peel a little bit, so you might have to iron that one back down. But give this to one of your kids, mate.
Oh.
Hey? There it is, Milfs jersey from the 2015 grand final.
How good.
It's got a bit of white stuff on. That must be when you got thrown into touch there, Milf. Did you get thrown into touch? No, I'm just joking, mate. There it is, the big number 6. So I'll give that back to you and your family, mate, because that belongs with you. Very proud day.
Oh, thanks.
Must have been heartbreaking though, eh? After the game and stuff, and
Yeah.
And a funny moment from the game was when Thurston was lining up the goal after Colefelt scored, which was ridiculous try. Anyway, Alfie's into him, but miss it. I'll give you $1,000 if you miss it. And if you look on Channel 9 on the screen, Thurston looks out because remember he took eternity to kick the goal.
Very, very long time.
It took a long time, and I'm thinking, for once I want Jonathan Thurston to miss. Anyway, he lines it up. He's given Alf a bit of a grin. He lines it up and bang, it hits the post and misses, obviously. So we're very grateful for that. But then a little bit later, they get the field goal and they get the win. So good on the Cowboys. But there's your jersey, Milf. You can give that to your kids or hang it up or
thank you.
Don't throw it out. You're not going to throw it out, are you?
No.
Yeah.
That's fine.
So of the whole experience of the grand final, I mean, I know losing's not great, but it's a great experience, isn't it? You know.
Yep, it was a really cool week, really laid back, and then obviously having the sport from everyone in Brizzy come to training, obviously the open training session.
Yep.
It's just a pretty fun week, and then obviously didn't get the chocolates in the end. But when I when I was thinking about it, like I kept thinking, oh, this can happen every year. But just because it was my first time with the Broncos, I thought
we could be back here next year.
We'll be back here next year, but
it's very hard to get there, hey?
How hard it is to get back to the top again. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Well, it took till 2023, the Broncos to get back there again.
Yeah.
And then we felt the same experience. So anyway, let's get on to some more happier stuff, Milf. But mate, again, making the grand final is a great achievement, even getting there. So yeah, well done, mate. And you bounced back in 2016, didn't get to the grand final, but you've kicked the field goal in the rematch. Do you remember that one?
Yep.
Round 4 against the Cowboys, 21-20 you won. And then you got a hat-trick against the Knights. And you beat the Knights 53-0. You remember that game?
Yeah, yeah.
Talk to me about that one. Broncos on fire.
Broncos on fire, just...
Very confident team, eh? Now, Narelle does all my research too, Milf. I see you looking over there. What am I coming to? There's nothing bad here, mate. Just relax. Just chill out in the chair, mate. So we got through the grand final. I'm pleased we got through that. Right, what about 2017? Talk to me about that. What happened there? Do you remember much? You want me to remind you?
Yeah.
Okay. You extend your contract at the Broncos. Did the Storm offer you over $1 million a year for 3 or 4 years?
Storm offered a pretty good deal for...
A pretty good deal. So you're the Broncos' first $1 million player, right?
Yep.
How does that sit with you? Is it like because all of a sudden this young kid that's come from up from the Raiders, right? All of a sudden you're on $1 million. That must have been obviously very grateful for that, but also a lot of pressure with that, isn't there? Like, did you feel the heat?
Yeah, I probably didn't expect it that much. Because you're playing at the Broncos, I believe it's when you're on $1 million, the pressure's even higher for any other NRL club.
Yep.
Because the Broncos are such a high club, and I hold them to the highest regard. So, yeah, I probably didn't take it on board as best I could.
Yep.
So there's a lot of things I would have changed, but yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah. And so, but the Storm offered you more money than the Broncos did.
Yeah.
Did you go down and visit the Storm?
Yeah.
They flew you down?
I had a pretty cool experience there.
Yeah, well, tell us about that, mate, because that's pretty unique. Like, if the Storm... There's some big clubs in the NRL. The Broncos are one of them. You've played there. You know all about that. But also, the Storm are a big club, very successful club. So that must have been pretty nerve-wracking for you. Oh, Wayne Bennett's coaching you at the Broncos, and then you got the other great coach, Craig Bellamy. So you would have met him, and tell us about what happened with that experience.
Yeah,
they flew you down on a private jet, didn't they?
Yeah, I flew down on that. Yeah, something like that.
Tell us, mate. So you're not big noting. That's just they wanted you.
Yeah,
they wanted.
So, yes, I obviously flew down on the jet down to Melbourne. And
so who was in the jet with you? Do you remember your manager? Who was your manager? Was it Sam Ayu?
No, my manager wasn't there. It was just myself and Dave. Off the top of my head, I'm pretty sure there was just us two.
Right.
So
Dave Donaghy.
Dave Donaghy.
Right. So he was working at the Storm at the time.
Yep.
Right. So you fly to Melbourne, you land out there.
Yep.
What do you got? A big flash car to pick you up from the airport?
No, we had someone come pick us up, and then took us to a hotel.
Right. Hotel in the city.
Yep.
And then what is Craig Bellamy and Frank Panisi and them there to meet you there? Are they? Or did they?
No, they're not there yet. We end up going to the hotel, obviously.
So it was an overnight job.
Yeah.
Oh, geez, they did roll the red carpet out.
So
roll Milf, eh?
So I had a little freshen up, and then we ended up going to the Amy Park.
Yep.
Had a walk through there. Just showing me around. And then towards the end, like, you walk out and then obviously shut the lights off, and then they had myself on the
big screen.
On the big screen in the Melbourne jersey. So
wow.
It was pretty cool to feel, I guess, wanted from a club, and again, such a high club like at Melbourne. So yeah, and then obviously after that had dinner with the big dogs there at the end. So it was pretty cool.
So Craig and Frank were there, and their CEO and whatnot. So how was it meeting Craig Bellamy? Was it pretty nerve-wracking or?
Really nerve-wracking.
Was it?
I was really scared, but he's a real good dude.
Great
again.
fella, mate.
Yeah.
Great fella.
Obviously, I only had that little bit with him, but yeah, I was just too shy to say anything.
Right, but you're impressed by what they rolled out.
Yep.
Were you close to going there, do you think?
Yep. Closer than I thought I was, because I got a lot of family in Melbourne as well.
Right.
So if that was the case, I would have moved mum and dad down as well and built a life down there. But yeah, ended up staying in Brisbane for the next 4 years.
Yeah, which you're happy with.
Yep.
Do you regret not going to the Storm?
No, I don't regret anything. Obviously,
Yeah, because I worked at the Storm as an assistant. It's a great club, a bit like the Broncos.
I think that's the only thing. Like I would have liked to seen what.
Because you would have had
that.
Cameron Smith throwing you the ball. Not that I'm not saying Macca was a great player for the Broncos, but they had the games like Billy Slater was a fullback, and we had Darius Boyd. So, but it's just something about the Storm that they're a very successful club as well.
Yeah.
Which it would have been interesting to see if you did go to the Storm,
Yeah.
Milf, but that's something that we'll never know. And I'm pleased you said you don't regret it because your career at the Broncos was really good and really successful. So. I don't think you should be too hard on yourself there, mate. You're still playing. Good on you, lad. Righto. We've done that Samoa stuff, the Origin debut. Let's get around to that. I think JT. Oh, I was coaching the side then, so JT was injured and you came in. Tell us about your Origin experience. Was it a good one? Were you nervous in that as well?
Yeah, I was very, very nervous, but not at the start. Because JT was still 50-50
Yeah, that's right.
on playing, so
we brought you in just as
Yep.
in case he wasn't going to be fit because he had a shoulder injury, didn't he?
yep. So I was cruising through that week.
Yeah, just having
just
some fun.
enjoying myself, and then can't remember what night it was, but might have been the Friday night before.
Yep.
He said had a knock on my door, and it was JT. He come and told me that he wasn't right, and I was going to play, and it was a pretty surreal moment because you getting one of the goats to knock on your door and telling you're going to play, so pretty cool feeling. And I didn't get any sleep that night.
Didn't?
No.
Right. What about the game? I know Queensland, we lost that night, but must have been pretty cool with your family in the stands. So they all came to the game, yeah?
Yep. Again, got photos of them. My partner was sending me photos of when they were obviously coming through Caxton and coming to the game. So
yeah,
again, I kept it to pinch myself when I was on that field just to get me in the game because I used to watch this on TV all the time. And, again, surreal feeling.
So how many family members would you have had there, Milf? Like 200 or something? Or?
I think I got about 30 tickets
right
total. So yeah. It was my first one. It might be one of the last. So.
No, well, it wasn't though. You played another one later on. So Thurston come back for game 2, and then and then in game 3, Munster came in, didn't he? So
yep.
Righto. You missed. It hasn't been all smooth sailing for you. You've had some injuries over the time as well. Your shoulders. You had both shoulders done, or just one?
No, I've had both. I've had my right done once, and then my left one twice, and I ended up getting a lattier through my left one, so that's the bad one that's been playing up. But ever since I got the lattier,
we'll explain to the people that don't understand what that is, what sort of injury that is, and what sort of surgery it is. Lattier.
That's a good question, Kevie. I don't know.
But obviously your shoulder, they put all bits of rope and everything through there.
Yeah, they moved some bone and put it somewhere to make
it stronger.
Stronger, so it stops coming out. So
you're still having trouble with it now?
No, I've been pretty good with it now. Every now and then I get the occasional. I think that's just being old. So
right, what you get pain in there or something? It just sore.
Yeah.
Still now.
Yeah.
Righto. Okay. Any other injuries to you?
No, but I've been pretty fortunate. Probably why I've been playing so long. And when I do my shoulders, it's at the end of the year. So pretty fortunate to stay on the field for so long. Yeah.
Righto. That's your second shoulder surgery. So 2018, we're up to now. You won the Paul Morgan Medal for the Broncos Player of the Year. Must have been a good year for you, 2018.
Yeah, I think the back end was a lot better than my start. So, again, I do wish we played a lot better, but I'm grateful that year I had in 18 and pick up them awards.
Righto, there's something that because Narelle trolls the internet for all different things. There's a hair pull incident against Penrith. Do you remember this?
Oh, yeah, I remember.
Against Corey Harawira-Naira. So you've come across, or defending, you've grabbed his hair and you've pulled his hair. Why would you do that, Mil?
Yeah, I can't remember why I ended up pulling his hair, but like that play before, he kind of stops in the line and tries to shove me to stop me going to go chase the defender.
Right.
So it wasn't just like me just running past and grabbing
pulling his hair. No, because that's not who you are.
He annoyed me because he stopped in the line and tried to stop me from going to make the tackle.
Right.
And then obviously pulled his hair and then...
He chased you.
Yeah,
he was going to kill you. There's vision of that on the internet, so we'll get it up on the story.
I think at least one of the boys send it to me like once a year when
right.
it comes through.
Yeah, it comes through, but you, mate, I know you're fast, but you had to be extreme. He was he straight away went after you, and you could sort of sense him coming, and you were running away as well. It was a good moment. We had a good year in 2018. And there's a photo of you getting the Paul Morgan Trophy with your shoulder in a sling. So you wanted to go to the World. Was that a World Cup year, 2018, or you wanted to put? There was something going on, and Wayne Bennett said, "No, you're not going."
Yeah, I had to have the surgery.
Yeah, all right. And 2019, 2020, the Seabold era. Right, what happened through there, Milf? Why did the Broncos get a spoon? You think what happened?
Probably a lot of reasons, but I think that the main one was we had a pretty disruptive preseason with everything that was going on at the time, and then
because all the noise around is who's going to be your coach, and that went on for months. I remember just sitting in the background, just watching it all, unfold because. And it must have been, if you're a player, very confusing. There's not a lot of security as a player. You're not knowing who your coach is, and Wayne Bennett being the Broncos' legend of a coach, and then Anthony Seabold coming in from outside must have been, I would say, pretty confusing for the players.
Yeah, because I remember having we had a lot of meetings where, nope, I'm staying. Nope, I'm going. So, again,
so that was that from
Wayne,
Paul White or from Wayne?
Yep. And then, there was a lot of confusion there when we were throwing up who was going to be the coach and who not. But us players just wanted to get it over with and done with.
Just make sure whoever's coaching.
Board, so.
Yeah, because you're a pretty tight group. That group of players had been to a grand final in 2015, and you probably would have thought we could get back there again. Was that how you're feeling, sort of thing?
Yeah, we always knew we had the squad to do it. We just obviously need to come together again and get better.
Righto. So Anthony ended up coming in, and things didn't work out too well there for the Broncos or for yourself. It sounds like through that time it was a bit confusing for the players, particularly that 2018 year where who's going to be the coach and what happened. So that does eat into your self-confidence as well, doesn't it? Not knowing who the coach is going to be and where they're going to be. So it wasn't some great years for the Broncos. Anyway, you finish up at the Bronx and you end up over at the Dolphins. How was that experience, mate, for the new team, and Wayne got you over there?
Yep. No, it was good. I enjoyed my time at the Dolphins. Obviously, a very new club coming through and obviously trying to build their supporter base again. And, I enjoyed my time there.
And because you played some good footy there, but did you have a hamstring problem or something you were going to come back in? Did you have hamstring injuries over there, which sort of halted your progress a bit, didn't it?
Yeah. So I done my hammy in the pre-season, come back, and then I heard it again mid-year last year. So, been a bit of an issue, but been pretty good.
Yeah, right. Now, did you have an offer? Do you have a big offer to go to England?
I had an offer to go to
Hull KR.
Hull, yeah.
And how come you knocked that back? Family reasons, or?
Yeah, I just couldn't bring myself to move my family there at the time. Had my little one in school, had to go on at prep already, and I just didn't feel it was the right time to move.
Mm-hmm.
because obviously it's a big move to move your kids up to go
Huge. Yeah,
to
huge.
the UK, but yeah, at the time I don't think I was ready.
Yeah, okay. And so you stayed here. Now you're still playing at the moment, aren't you, for South?
Yep.
South Logan in the Queensland Cup, which you're enjoying that, obviously.
Yeah, it's really good.
You got to feed Harry Walters a bit more, mate, on the left side, mate.
They need to put him on first. I can't feed him if he's getting only 2 minutes.
No, that's right, mate. That's right. And we spoke about the World Cup. That must have been a great experience for you in 22, like with Samoa. Like, first time they've ever made a World Cup final. You beat England at Emirates Stadium, which is Arsenal's ground, 27-26. Tell us about that game, because that must have been amazing for the Samoans to get through to the final of the World Cup.
Yeah, it was huge. After that Tonga game, obviously celebrated that win, but then focus went straight on to England, and
Who beat us by, how much was it?
beat us by 60 points.
In round one of the competition.
So it was, obviously a really big week. We had Lee Rashford there, or Radford, who helped us out with obviously spotting their players and whatnot. So big week. We had a heap of supporters that come through, had a heap of videos come through, obviously sending good luck to the boys, which is, again...
That's when The Rock got on board, didn't he?
Yeah, The Rock. Oh, he got on board for the final.
Yeah, right.
So that was pretty...
But you never got to meet him.
No.
That's a shame, eh? Righto, so the final doesn't go too well for you blokes at Old Trafford, but it still would have been a great experience, surely.
Yeah, it was. And obviously to be the first Samoan team to reach the final is a cool, special moment for all the boys and all their families. So, again, I see Samoa heading in the right direction to make more progress, and to get more better. And
do you think guys like Hammer and Payne and Tino, they'll all end up playing for Samoa maybe this year or the year after? What's your thoughts? You think more players will come across?
Yeah, I'm hoping so, and I'd love to see more of those players come through, because obviously that they bring more eyes on Samoa, and which will bring more sponsors and hopefully bring more boys back home.
Yeah, definitely. One thing that I've always wondered was, and this is a cultural question. You see all the boys with those necklaces things with all the lollies and chocolates, and what's the history behind that? Can you enlighten me there, or you don't really know?
It's just like a really special occasion for that person, and just honouring them for obviously what they're doing at the time.
And is it the bigger the chocolate, the more important you are, or it's just whatever you can get your hands on?
I think they've been getting out of hand lately, like with the sizes. But
are they putting family blocks in there now?
There's a lot of big ones going on.
But it's a special tradition, isn't it, for Samoan people?
Yep. So obviously every special occasion that someone has, or whether it's a graduation or someone's finished a game of footy.
Yeah, Big Pups would have had him hanging around his neck.
Yeah, he had a few of them after the game last week. So
yeah,
again, it's just honouring them, and
okay, it's pretty cool, eh?
It's pretty cool.
Righto. I mentioned your cousin, Big Francis Molo. He's back at the Dolphins. Did you sort of grow up together, or just sort of you two? Were you pretty tight coming through as kids, you and Francis?
No, so we're like our families are from the same village in Samoa,
right?
So we're pretty distant that way, but always just knew we had a relationship there, because he lived on the north side of Brisbane and I was on the south.
Right, yeah. He was in Billy's Met North teams, certainly, which I think they won the carnival, the Met North boys, did they?
Yeah, I've gotten a lot of hidings from the north side of Brisbane.
That's it. Now, righto, you're back at South now playing. How are you going? Enjoying it over there?
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. Obviously, a lot less pressure of playing in the NRL.
Yep.
And I guess on the plus side, I get a lot more family time.
Yep.
With the kids. So,
you still? So you think your time in the NRL is finished, or if someone came up, say the Titans or the Broncos, or someone said we want you back in the NRL, would you take them up on it?
Yeah, I'd definitely have a look at it. I'd be lying. I'd be lying if I said I thought I was finished in the game. I still believe I still got a lot to offer.
Yeah.
And then that's why I'm enjoying South so much, is I guess giving the other boys knowledge that I know in the game, and just giving them little tips of how it can help and improve them, which is I enjoy doing, the
Yeah.
mentoring side.
So do you see yourself, when you do finish playing, do you see yourself in a coaching role somewhere, or do you see yourself still involved in the game?
Yeah, I'd like to see myself still involved the game in some capacity, but I'm enjoying that if I can just give, I guess, direction to some of the boys, and I've got a lot of life lessons I can push onto boys and help them, and hopefully putting them in the right direction.
Definitely, mate. I think you've got a lot to offer, both as even playing now. I like what you're doing, but you're going to play on next year? You don't know yet?
Yeah, I don't know yet. See what happens. If the body's still good.
It'll be good, mate. Righto. Just a couple of quick fire questions here now, mate. We'll ask the Kratzman Caravans, who are one of our major sponsors, Milf. Your favourite holiday destination. Now, I reckon I got a fair idea what you're going to say, but let me know your answer, champ. What do you got?
Probably Samoa.
Samoa. You like getting back there?
Yep, I love getting back there, and obviously.
How are we going to tow the Kratzman Caravan to Samoa? That's not going to work, mate.
Yeah, I enjoy going back there, and obviously our off-season period is Samoa's summertime, so the weather's beautiful there, and I can't complain.
Right, so do you get, obviously you're pretty popular back there, do you get sort of a lot of adulation when you go back there, a lot of people wanting to get photos with you and autographs and all that sort of stuff?
There's a few.
Does it depend which part of the island you go to, I suppose, does it, or...?
Yeah, that, and probably depends on how well I'm going at footy.
Right, because they're a rugby league nation, obviously. Hey, they love their footy.
Yeah, no, they love their footy, and that's obviously on the back of the World Cup. It's getting a lot more popular. So
yeah. So there's test matches at the end of the year for Samoa this year?
yes,
And you'll hope to be involved in all that, I would imagine.
I don't see myself in those teams right now, but because like I said, I feel like I've left that jersey in a better spot now for the boys. So
Jerome, he's Samoan, Jerome?
Yeah, Jerome.
And who's in the halves for Samoa at the moment?
There's Chanel, who can put in there. He's from the Warriors. So.
Yeah, right. He's having a great year too, isn't he?
Again, when I first started, there was close to no one in the halves.
Yeah.
But now there's a lot of
good young halves coming through,
halves
which
coming
is great,
through.
isn't it? And you got outside backs. You got them everywhere. Like
Yeah.
such talented bloody nation for that. They play rugby union as well, don't they? Samoans, are they good in rugby union or?
They used to be not as good now, and not as big. Obviously, just because of I guess how well the Toa Samoa team was doing. So
Yeah.
It's good to see that. I guess Samoa rugby league in a better position than what it was.
Steve Crichton, what's he like to play with? Because I've only seen him from afar. I've never had a lot to do with him. He looks like a pretty inspirational player, like a good leader.
Really, really good. Just have a lot of trust, and you just know you're looked after there. I was lucky enough to have him as my centre pairing
Right.
when I was on the World Cup, and I didn't feel out of place at once or like.
He looks like a bit of a minder sort of person, like he makes sure that everyone's safe and okay, and if they're not, well, I'll come over and I'll sort it out, sort of.
No, again, he's one of those boys you want on your team.
Yeah, you'd rather be playing with him than against him.
100%. He looks after you, and he just knows you got his back, and he's got yours.
Yeah, brilliant, mate. Do you have a favourite teammate that you played alongside over the time, or someone that Josh would be one of your better mates that you played with, Papali'i, would he? What about the Broncos? You got a favourite there? Benny Hunt or Macca or, I don't know, Cos?
Yeah, too many. I reckon probably up there would be probably Cody.
Yeah. Well, yes, Batman and Robin coming through the underage stuff, weren't you, for Queensland and the like?
Yeah, we were 6 and 7 there for a lot of the time there in Queensland, and especially during
at the Broncos
juniors.
too.
Yep, and at the Broncos. So, cool moment there, just obviously growing up and then obviously playing at the highest level at the Broncos.
He's going well at the moment, isn't he, Code?
Yeah, he's going too good.
Yeah, you could still do that, mate. You just got to get the right opportunity. What about your toughest opponent? Someone who you playing against was always tough, you thought?
Cameron Smith. I actually thought when he retired, I thought we might have a chance,
Yeah.
But he's just always a step ahead, and you just find a way to get him out of trouble all the time, or if we did have him in trouble. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to play for Queensland with him, didn't you?
Yep.
That would have been a good moment for you. What about your favourite stadium? Is there one that you particularly like playing at more than anywhere else?
No, Suncorp's.
Suncorp's the best, eh? Yep. Yeah. You got a favourite footy memory? That one thing that's really stays with you no matter what?
Probably too many, but probably the prelim against the Cows 2015 where the Cody went through.
Yep.
And I scored on the sticks and
knowing that you're in the grand final.
Yep, knowing in the grand final and then just obviously celebrated with the crowd and a good ending to a big week.
I say that to people all the time when asked about that. So apart from winning a grand final, the next best feeling is knowing that you're in one, isn't it? You played in a few grand finals, so you'd know as well that it's a different feeling, isn't it?
Yep.
It's like you're walking on water sort of thing, you know?
Yep.
So, okay, it's a good memory to have, mate. What about your proudest moment in your career? What do you feel like has been your biggest achievement?
Probably apart from my debut, having the opportunity to captain Samoa at a stage of my career.
Yep.
Never did I think ever thought I'd ever be a captain, but got the opportunity to do it and pretty special moment.
Righto. Now, this is the last one. Right. Now, I'm not going to let you get away with this. February 2016, emerging Maroons camp. You were one of 8 players, Anthony, that broke curfew on coach Kevin Walters, and you were banned for 12 months. Now, I can tell everyone about this night. I can't go into the details, but tradition in those days, these emerging camps was to get the younger next generation of Maroons coming in to just give them a bit of a taste of Origin. So we'd go and have a meal, and then we'd go back to the hotel, do a bit of training over the days as well, but just more about connection among the players. Now, this group of gang, these fellas, right, I'm going to give you some names here. Milford, Hunt, Holmes, Munster, Jared Wallace, Napa, Edric Lee, and Chris Grevesmill. The Magnificent Eight decided, let's go out and sneak a few here. What were you bloody thinking, Milf?
It's a tradition.
It is. It was a tradition. I grant that. But it was funny. Not funny, but after it all happened, because the next day we went. Remember, we went to South Bank for a swim just to freshen up before they got on their planes and went home. And honestly, we couldn't find Val. Could be he was MIA.
Yeah.
But no one. This is where I do get a bit of respect for these fellas. No one would put anyone in or say who was out. They just stuck solid until I had to do some really strong investigating. But we banned you for 12 months, and thankfully, just hang on, I'll get my papers back. Of that 8, I'm going to say nearly all of you played for Queensland.
I think there's only one.
Chrissy.
Yeah.
Yeah. The rest of you all made it through. Big Naps. Oh, he was a handful of Big Naps. And you're laughing because you know he is. Ben Hunt. Well, come on, Benny. Val Holmes. What about his career? Cameron Munster, the current captain of the State of Origin team, snuck out. What's Big Jared doing these days? He's retired, is he?
Yeah, he's retired. He's playing local down the Goldie. So.
Down the Goldie, righto. Thanks, Wal. Big Naps. Edric Lee. What's Edric doing these days? Do you know? Is he still at...
He's working in the community. He's at the doing stuff with the Dolphins there.
Righto. So some big names there that, had their moments. But anyway, it worked out all right for you, Milf. You end up playing Origin. So did those other boys. Milf, I think we got everything covered here. Great having you on, mate. It's good to see that you're still playing and giving back to South. My son Harry certainly loves being around you and learning from everything that you've learnt in the NRL. So there's your jersey back. Thanks for being on Inside Ball, mate. Pleasure.
Thank you very much. Thanks for your time as well. Appreciate it, mate.